Hello everyone and welcome back to Paint to Play. Today we're going to be painting up Dr. Doom. In my previous videos I've been painting up the Fantastic Four and we need the villain to complete the set. Today we start by doing the base and I use a coat of English grey to highlight all the rocks, and the brickwork I use a rusty brown colour. After a coat of Agrax Earthshade, we then base coat the green cloak with Russian green. As always, we give a second thin coat of the same colour. Once we've done that, we begin our non-metallic metal. I used burnt umber as a base tone and then Japanese brown over the top to sketch out where the highlights are going to go. While the other layers were drying, I used English grey to pick out the highlighted parts of the rock and then went over it a second time using a pale grey to edge highlight those rocks. Using the original reddy brown colour, I did the same thing with the brickwork, making sure to highlight every edge. Then we can begin the non-metallic metal on Doom himself. Using white, I sketched out all of the really raised areas on all of his armour plates, so I know where to begin the non-metallic metal process on the rest of the model. When doing this, you should be picking out the topmost parts of any part of the armour and notice any shapes that you may see on the model. Once the highlights have all been sketched out using white, you can then go over it with a lighter grey colour and blend it with the white. Careful not to touch any of the recesses or the highest points. You should try and allow these colours to touch and mix. This makes the transition that little bit smoother. When that lighter grey colour has been added, you can then go on to some of the darker areas using an even darker grey colour. Again, making sure not to touch any of the darkest parts of your model. The next step is to try and tidy up those recesses by going back over it with the original dark or black colour that you used at the beginning, just to make sure that all those dark areas are really dark. When you've done that, you then use your lightest white colour to go and do an edge highlight over every piece of the armour. This makes it really shiny and stand out clearly from the rest of the model. We now begin work on the cloak, and we're going to use the original colour Russian green mixed with a little bit of olive green to sketch out where the highest areas of the cape are. Once we've done that, we'll use a higher concentration of that olive green to bring out the areas where the light is hitting the most. On cloaks, it's normally these little raised areas, little creases, and any sort of shapes like the top of the hood or the back of his cape here that really stand out as a distinctive shape. You can try to add texture to the fabric by using small lines when you highlight, a small detail that looks really good when you look up close. And here's the finished product, Dr. Doom in all of his glory. His silver armour looks good, but I may spend a bit more time trying to blend these different layers together in the future. What do you guys think? What would you do differently? You can tell me in the comments below.